Coming up on Golf Central, Ryder Cup hero Patrick Reed makes his return to competitive golf, part of a great field at tonight's Cimb Classic from Malaysia. The LPGA Tour season is winding down, but the race for Player of the Year is heating up. Who has the edge to win LPGA Tour Player of the Year, Lydia or Aria? And it is the day after for the newly announced class of 2017 into the World Golf Hall of Fame. We hear reaction straight ahead on Golf Central.
Golf Central, brought to you by Titleist.
1 year ago, it was Justin Thomas birdieing holes 15, 16, and 17 in the final round of the Cimb Classic. Good for his first PGA Tour victory at the age of 22. 26 under par, a tournament scoring record in relation to par. Some notables in the field this week. Patrick Reed indeed making his first start since winning the Ryder Cup with the United States. 10 consecutive top 25 finishes for Patrick worldwide. Also in the mix, another Ryder Cup hero, Ryan Moore. He won this event in 2 of the last 3 years. Combined 48 under par in the event over the last 3 years. That is the best of anyone in the field. And let's not forget about Adam Scott. Led the PGA Tour in strokes gained tee to green last season. Finished runner-up in this event, finishing with a 63 in the final round. And with that, we say hello. Good evening to you. This is Golf Central. Ryan Burr and Trip Eisenhower. Trip, fun night for sure. It's a Wednesday start of the PGA Tour. We'll get you ready for that a little bit later on tonight as the Cimb Classic comes your way live here on Golf Channel at 10 o'clock. The action starting at 10:30. 3 on the tee, Trip. 3 guys you're looking for.
Well, now the golf course this year, Ryan, same golf course, but it's named the TPC Kuala Lumpur, and 3 guys that I think to clearly watch for, and it'll be part of the story. The first guy is a guy who was part of the story last year, and of course I'm talking about Adam Scott. I know Adam Scott did miss the cut last week in his tournament in Japan, but last year in his first appearance, he was chasing down Justin Thomas. He led the field in par 5 scoring. He took apart the par 5s. That's normally not the formula for success, at least the last 3 years. You've got to play the par 3s well. Well, we know what Adam can do, and you know what? He was top 10 in greens and regulation as well. I think Adam is primed to really get back in the form that he was in the playoffs, where he had 4 straight top 10 finishes. So Adam Scott clearly likes this golf course. He likes playing this time of year, and look for him to be part of the story. The second guy is a guy who did have success in Japan last week, and of course I'm talking about Hideki Matsuyama. Hideki Matsuyama is one of those guys, anytime you talk about a ball striking golf course where you have to hit the ball well with your irons, well, this guy's got to be on your short list because he does it week after week, and that's what you need into these greens. These greens are typically soft. It's a hot conditions, and Hideki usually thrives in that environment. Of course, he did have a 3-stroke win last week, in Japan, as I mentioned, and he finished 5th here last year. So he likes this golf course. I think the little bit slower greens play into Hideki's weakness as well, which we know can be the putter. But there you can see a par 3, which is one of the keys. The 3 winners have all been in the top, or played the par 3s very well. Finally, well, you got to have this guy on a short list because as far as horses for courses, it's Ryan Moore. Ryan Moore has played here 3 times. He's had 2 wins, and of course last year he really struggled to a 10th place finish. But Ryan Moore, if you look at how he started playing, Ryan, at the end of this season, it was fantastic. Here capping off the win in 2013. Just in style. What did he do? Well, he took apart the field with birdie or better percentage. He was 2nd in converting birdies both years. That is key. You really got to make a ton of birdies on this golf course. And if we look at Ryan Moore here at the Ryder Cup, sealing the point, you could say only Patrick Reed might be the only American hotter than Ryan Moore, at least as far as the close of the season. And Ryan Moore, clearly with the success he's had on this golf course, is going to be a guy to watch. So I think those 3 guys will be part of the story without question.
What do you expect from Reed and Moore? You could go 2 ways. The thrill of the Ryder Cup, kind of a letdown we saw with Phil. He used that as like a springboard and picked up right where he left off. Do you expect a high level of golf?
I do. Obviously, I think Moore, the way he's playing, and I think if Patrick Reed doesn't, win this week, people say, well, he didn't carry the momentum of the Ryder Cup. I tell you where I think Reed's going to carry the momentum of the Ryder Cup is into next season on the major championships. He has not had very much success in major championships, but I think what he's going to be able to draw on what he did at the Ryder Cup is going to play big for him, because when you stand tee to tee, or you stand there with Rory McIlroy and go shot for shot, you know you can win a major championship.
I wouldn't expect him to shush the crowd in Malaysia tonight.
No,
I think he
won't be doing that.
Be in a better mood. But you certainly can see part of the action. We're looking forward to it tonight as the PGA Tour has some of the biggest stars like Patrick Reed, Adam Scott, Ryan Moore. They all headline the field. Our coverage of the Cimb Classic begins tonight at 10 p.m. This year, the Cimb will be followed on the schedule by the WGC HSBC champions. Next year, the PGA Tour will add a third event in Asia. The event will take place in South Korea and will be the first of 3 events of that swing. More details about the size of the field and the purse, they will be announced Monday in Seoul. Continuing the theme from yesterday, as 5 new members will add their name into the World Golf Hall of Fame, headlined by, yes, Davis Love III, winning Ryder Cup captain, 21 wins in his PGA Tour career, including a major championship, 6 Ryder Cups. Here are all the names that will be inducted into the Hall. Davis Love, joined by former Masters champion Ian Woosnam, Lorena Ochoa, who went to #1 in the world, Meg Mallon, and Henry Longhurst, a great golf correspondent. Let's listen in as some of these players get the news they're heading to the Hall.
I didn't really feel the importance of it until really the last couple years, but it really hit home with me at the Ryder Cup when Bubba Watson tearfully one night told the team, my 2 goals in life are to be a Ryder Cup captain and to be in the World Golf Hall of Fame. And it really hit me that, hey, maybe I'm on the brink of this. So I really feel blessed and humbled to be included in that group.
I love to say that when I became #1 player in the world, I was here in Morelia, in Mexico. Everything happened here in my country. So that was also, probably my best accomplishment because I love to share with my people. It was amazing.
I watched the Nicholas, the Palmers, the players, all them great players, and to be in there with them guys is just unbelievable. When I was a young kid, that's all I wanted to be as a professional golfer, to able to play along with them guys, and to win the Masters was one stepping stone, but this is another, to be in the Golf Hall of Fame.
I was overwhelmed. I mean, it's been a very emotional moment for me and my family, and we're just super excited to get to celebrate in New York. But it's just a great class, and I'm super excited about it.
And we welcome in Jeff Shackelford for more reaction to the 2017 class to the World Golf Hall of Fame. Jeff, let's start with Ian Woosnam, quite the character, former world #1, who, of course, won the 1991 Masters. Your reaction to Ian finally getting this call?
Well, it's a great bit of news for Ian and for all of the fans of European Tour golf, because I think it sort of vindicates his incredible record over there. And then obviously we know him in the United States as a Masters champion and somebody who contended in so many majors. And I also think it vindicates the Hall of Fame, because, he took to Twitter a couple years ago, Ryan, and was pretty critical of the fact that he didn't get in the Hall of Fame. And that's the kind of thing that could sort of backfire. And it's amazing for some of us who think of players whose careers have been forgotten and not talked about enough. And here's somebody in the very recent past that felt sort of slighted. And so all of these things, his great golf swing, everything about his career, Ryder Cup captain, I think is worthy of a Hall of Fame induction.
Speaking with him yesterday, it seems like it was worth the wait as he raised a glass or 2 or 3 to his the announcement that he'll be part of the World Golf Hall of Fame. Jeff, also really cool to see Henry Longhurst, a weekly columnist for the London Sunday Times, 40 years, a TV personality in his own right, added to this class. Your thoughts?
Yes, well, you're a writer, I'm a writer. We love to see writers get into the Hall of Fame, Ryan. And Mr. Longhurst obviously was known to a generation of Americans for his television commentary. And he really did set an interesting stage there, working the Masters for future broadcasters and kind of letting the golf and the sounds be a big part of it. He was very sparse with his language. However, I love him and know of him, of course, for his writing. 40 years with the Sunday Times, Golf Illustrated, columns that have been put into books. And Ryan, what's interesting is his work has held up so well. He had his pet peeves, the rough, the ball going too far, all those kinds of things. But he ultimately was a great golfer himself. He won a German amateur, and he felt for the player, whether it was the average golfer or the elite player. And that's why his work both resonated when he published it, but then also now when you go back and read it, his writing holds up beautifully. So a wonderful addition to the Hall of Fame.
And finally, Jeff, Los Angeles behind you there. Do you have a feeling about the Dodgers and the Cubs tonight?
We're going to see a 20-year-old that America's finally going to get to see, our great prospect, Julio Urias. He's going to put the Cubs away. You watch.
There you go. Jeff Shackelford, a man of many skills, and predicting his Dodgers tonight. We appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Ryan.
Still to come, we look ahead to tonight's first round of the Cimb Classic. Plus, Andy Sullivan goes from grocery bagger to defending champ in Portugal. His story straight ahead.
Golf Central is brought to you by the Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. Make a difference in your game. BMW, we only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.